Well, well, good morning. For those of you who are able to see the bigger picture, that still small voice that has been within each of us, that still small voice of spirit or of God or of the divine, whatever you wish to call it, is getting louder. You know, I've noticed that it gets louder and the flame gets brighter the more I am able to embrace everyone and everything. On this path that I've been journeying, those times in my life when I was afraid and felt that I needed protection and I needed separation from this or that thing or this or that one, somehow I did not have the clarity, and the voice was truly a still small voice. But as I've expanded my mind and opened my heart more and more, again to see the bigger picture, to see that God encompasses everything, not just some things, but everything. It's truly transformative. It sets me on a whole new path, so to speak, and yet it's the same path I've always been on. It's just with more clarity, with greater understanding, and with much more love to receive and to give. As I watch what's happening, I mean, not just in the inner vision of my soul, but in the three-dimensional outplaying in the world itself. I almost don't have words to say sometimes because it simply blows my mind, which is a good thing to be blown. And I somehow get out of my mind, but yet at the same time I'm sensing that I have more of the mind of Christ than I've ever had before. I know my message to some sounds like pure blasphemy. It sounds like I'm off the wall and maybe a little bit nuts. And maybe I am. Maybe I am, but this little bit nuts feels really good. This idea, this mission that I'm on to help people like you and me and others discover within themselves that which they've always sought, that which we've always sought somewhere outside of us. Because when we discover this, the kingdom of heaven gets established on earth. I mean in 3 dimensions. Yes, I believe we are becoming 4th and 5th dimensional and higher dimensional beings. The more we open up to the truth of all in all, the truth of Christ in everyone, of Buddha in everyone, the more we recognize the divine in everything. Call it pantheism if you want. It doesn't matter. Words are just words. Words are just words. And they've been used to divide us for a very long time. And I don't want to use my words to divide us. Some of us are a little bit further along in our understanding than others. I believe that. I can see that. And it makes me sad sometimes to see people hanging on to old beliefs and old ideas. But I know it's part of their process, and they're allowed to go through it. You're allowed to go through what you're going through. You're allowed to be where you are. And it's okay with God, and it's okay with me, and it's okay with any of us that are beginning to see, because we're recognizing the truth that does set us free. And it's this truth, that God has always been in everything, the dark and the light, the masculine and the feminine, even the apparent good and evil. I know that's a hard concept for a lot of people to understand. It's been hard for me to understand sometimes, and I've wrestled with with the idea of justice, thinking that somehow justice meant punishment. No, I don't see it that way anymore. Justice means mercy. Justice means grace. It means granting to the other person compassion and forgiveness as he or she gropes his or her way along the path of his life or her life, trying to remember, trying to reconnect with that which finally brings peace. I've experienced not having peace. That's why I can be compassionate to those of you that may not be experiencing peace. Everything is beautiful. Everything is so wonderful. As the Spirit of God, that still small voice, gets louder and louder and louder and says, "Here I am. I've always been here. All along I've been right here in your heart. I've been right here. I've been loving you and watching you and allowing you to have your own journey. Now I'm getting a little bit louder for you so that you can hear me a little bit more clearly. I'm letting your light shine a little bit more brightly so you can see. I'm letting the light in other people's hearts shine more brightly so you can see that light flicker and sometimes burst into flames." The still small voice is the voice of God that is you. It's not just in you. It is you. The Holy Spirit is not something that comes upon you from outside of you. It fills you from within, and it radiates to everyone and everything. The entire cosmos sees your light and rejoices. My brothers and sisters, my friends, we are reestablishing not only republics in the United States and around the world, but we are reestablishing the kingdom of heaven on earth. It's a kingdom that shall have no end, because truly it had no beginning, even for us when we didn't realize we were in the kingdom of heaven, because everything seemed so chaotic, and even then we were in the kingdom of heaven. We just weren't aware of it. All separation, you see, all illusions only exist in our own mind and are only a teacher along the path of personal experience and personal growth, because we chose to enter this far country, forgetting our inheritance, forgetting who we were, so that we could create the biggest party the cosmos has ever seen. As millions and perhaps even billions of pieces of God, individual pieces of God, stand in their power and their personal sovereignty and celebrate life and celebrate wisdom and celebrate the love of God in each of us, expressed as each of us. May God bless you on your journey today as you open your heart and your mind to receive more and more and more of the Spirit that created each of us for love. God bless you. Namaste.